Now, Singapore is now part of an international alliance to help make high-quality carbon markets happen. At COP27, it officially joined the so-called Article 6 Implementation Partnership led by Japan. Comprising more than 60 members, including countries and institutions, the partnership builds on rules under the Paris Climate Deal, enabling countries to transfer carbon credits to each other. Singapore Sustainability and the Environment Minister Grace Fu says that the country looks forward to working with partners on high-integrity carbon markets and advancing cooperation between nations.
This will enable high-integrity carbon markets to be set up and provide new pathways to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement. The progress on carbon markets, along with more investments in low-carbon technologies worldwide, have given Singapore the confidence to raise our national climate ambition and announce our commitment to achieve net zero by 2050.
And to understand how all of this works, we're going to speak now with Yvonne Zhang. She's Sustainability and Climate Director at Deloitte Southeast Asia. Good evening to you, Yvonne. The rule book on carbon markets, as set out in Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, it's gaining new momentum now at the current COP27 that's ongoing in Egypt. What is Article 6 and why is it such a big deal now?
Article 6 is not new. It is a work in progress that 197 countries have all signed up to. And the agreement is about making sure that there is integrity being preserved and also collaboration between governments, private sector, and also communities, so that the commonly referred to carbon credits, but they're actually internationally transferable mitigation outcomes, can actually allow real impact to be measured, to be valued, and also to be transferred with proper compensation across borders and across entities. So the progress made in COP26 in terms of outlining the implementation guidelines and Singapore's participation in COP27 in implementing a lot of the bilateral collaboration agreements, as well as participating in multilateral working groups, actually demonstrates Article 6 is alive and well and also ready to deliver outcomes going forward.
Now, speaking of the transfer of credits, how does this work exactly? I mean, in layman's terms, take us through, we know that Singapore's plans to collaborate with Papua New Guinea and Ghana. But the credits, I mean, do they go one way, both way, one buys, one sells?
Credits, as referred to commonly as an accounting adjustment, exactly refers to the buy and sell, and also ensuring no double counting actually occurs. So the transfer or trading of these type of credits essentially requires a lot of books to be actually matched between the entities that generate and also consume, between the countries that produce and also recognize, as well as the countries that actually receive these carbon credits. There are multiple books, multiple rules that actually has to be in sync. And a lot of these types of realities on the ground experienced by the different parties and countries involved actually come into play as well. So the transfer of credits is not like transferring money. It is actually a lot more collaboration and negotiation involved still in the works. But to ensure integrity and overall mitigation of our carbon footprint globally, the whole transfer mechanism need to have a mandatory market cap, so that each country meets its undertakings, and also the private sector as well as the public sector have roles to play so that they can actually share the burden of adequate compensation and also support each other with non-monetary terms, so that everyone can actually accelerate progress towards meeting the goals as well.
Yvonne, one of the challenges or even criticisms of carbon credits has been this issue of double counting. And Article 6, as we understand it, is going to address that concern. Tell us why double counting has become such an important, significant issue as far as carbon markets trading is concerned, and how is Article 6 going to ensure that it doesn't happen?
with any trading markets, trust is paramount. So we've actually seen with the innovation and also wave of a lot of strong participation of different types of projects, technologies, and methods of mitigation coming online, it is increasingly difficult to actually keep track of who claims what, can actually validate what, and who actually has spent or even warehoused and also transferred what. So the underlying integrity and also transparency of the market is actually a baseline for this type of collaboration to continue. Article 6 actually only outlined that the goals of ensuring integrity of the market governance, counting, and also avoidance of double counting should actually be implemented. However, there is so much more outside of Article 6 language that is actually needed to actually ensure this can actually be achieved in reality. So we actually have seen a lot of the nationally based marketplaces, a lot of the interconnectivity between public and private entities in terms of data sharing, in terms of structuring financing, as well as blended finance and concessional structures, so that incentive systems are built around making sure that no one is pushed to actually do things that compromise the integrity of the entire system. And also more transparency to more stakeholders is afforded so that the sunshine policy can be instituted so that the whole marketplace can become more sustainable, pun intended, as well.
So now, Yvonne, you mentioned that, you can't quite track who spends what, and it's sort of like a trust system that you need. So help us understand, how would a country like Singapore, for instance, benefit from this type of bilateral collaboration, assuming that obviously there is a lot of negotiation that goes behind closed doors?
That's right. So there is going to be United Nations-led efforts to make sure there is more universal acceptance of principles and also frameworks and even tools and facilities available. Well, that goes in, that will take time to actually develop. What we can see Singapore actually pursuing is that extending its role as a key commodity trading hub, a key financing hub. The role of Singapore in terms of facilitating all the transfer of knowledge, the realization of pricing impact, the connectivity between financing entities as well as the subjects that require financing that are offering potential to create impact in terms of generating outcomes that support the development goals to be hit globally, not just in region. These are essentially the invisible, also imperative road I would say, pillars that Singapore can provide. So we can actually see that the trading of carbon credits doesn't blossom into something that is just focused on transferring of risk, but the whole mitigation of risk tied to Singapore's role in pricing commodities, in financing entities, in financing ventures, and also in reducing each entity's share of the risk. That will actually be very, very important to accelerating and scaling the impact that a lot of the countries and entities are really aiming towards, but really needs a helping hand as well.
Being able to scale carbon markets is key to this. But explain to us, if you will, Yvonne, how businesses here in Singapore stand to gain from carbon credit transfers across borders.
The question, I would say, right now, we're not looking at a problem of how do we gain. We should all contribute when we can and also facilitate. Businesses in Singapore are benefiting from the ambition of the government and also the unique position of Singapore becoming a sustainable finance as well as a carbon market facilitator and connecting point. Sitting at this really important location geographically and also geopolitically, businesses here can actually really consider what they can actually do in addition to what they normally do, but think about how they work better with their partners, taking advantage of the potential for pricing power and also access to finance so that they can impact on, for example, mitigating the scope 3 burdens that they have, and also what they actually work with their suppliers, their customers, and their entire value chains on. These kind of unique opportunities don't come by easily, and Singapore businesses have this unique opportunity to actually leverage their position, right, to transform their business models, to work better with their stakeholders, to reduce their emission footprint, but also scale impact, which hopefully should deliver long-term financial outcomes as well for their stakeholders.
Well, it's been good speaking with you, Yvonne. Thanks for staying up late and sharing those insights. And we also apologize for that rather patchy audio. Yvonne Zhang there from Deloitte Southeast Asia.